Okay, this is the off-grid amateur, creator of the Amicus lineup of smokeless fire pits. And for those of you that have been following along and know about the Amicus Fire Pits, you know that this is the Grab-N-Go. Now, I selected that name because these particular drums, which they don't come to me very quickly or very regularly enough to have them in my regular lineup, so I always call them a limited edition. But these drums have two handles on the side that are integrated so that you can grab it and go, hence the name. Now, when I first started building smaller ones, I always built the Junior, and it was made from a 5-gallon metal bucket, but these are made from 20-gallon drums, and they're a little bit larger. You'll find the dimensions in the description on the Etsy's listing for this drum. But something I'm doing differently now, because of a request from a customer, is I'm adding the modular. These used to be one unit that you just pick up the entire thing and you could take it with you and you're on the go. But you couldn't separate the upper and lower section, and one of the hallmark characteristics of the Amicus Original, the flagship to our fire pit lineup, is the fact that it's modular. You can separate the upper section from the lower section for easy ash removal. And as a result of a request made by a customer, I've decided to make an attempt at doing that very same thing with the Grab-N-Go. Now, just like the other one, I've lined up the seam from the original manufacturing for the upper and lower section. That helps with locator pin to corresponding hole alignment. There's that corresponding hole. And to take this apart, you just press in a little bit of pressure and lift, and the legs nest on those locator pins. And then you can just pick this up and separate the upper and lower section, making the ash removal super easy. And then, of course, putting it back together, you find that seam right here. You can see that seam, and then you find the corresponding seam on the upper section, which is right here. All right, so you're going to just take these legs and nest one down in on top of the pin that's there, the second one on top of the pin there, and this one rests on the pin there. So all you really need to do is push in, and that pin lines up. You push in here, and this pin will line up as well. And you'll know when it's on because it'll just pop into place. And then, of course, finally the last pin, and it drops into place as well. And that locator pin takes this modular design and makes it carry as one piece. And that's the way that I've designed it. I may end up putting this on the Etsy listing as a standard build, making it standard to all of the Grab-N-Go's, just because, cleaning up the ash in a fire pit, that's probably the least desirable feature of any fire pit, is getting rid of that ash. But one of the probably the most underrated features of the Amicus fire pit lineup is that modular design that allows you to separate it, because keeping your fire pit lasting a long time means regular ash removal. I've touched on this before, and ash was used in the production of lye, and lye, of course, was used in making of soap, and lye is corrosive or caustic, and when it sits wet down here on this pan, it's going to corrode your fire pit. Doesn't matter where you bought it, what's it made of, if it's made of metal, whether it's made of stainless, whether it's made of carbon steel. If ash is sitting down there for any length of time, and it gets wet, especially if it gets wet, it's going to corrode your fire pit. So I'm uploading this to YouTube, and I'm going to be able to share it with the person that requested it so they can see it before they decide to make the purchase. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. That'd be great. You know, it doesn't take any effort to do it, and it doesn't cost anything. So till next time.